What is this? Bakit ganito kamahal po ang coffee ninyo? Mura lang to, 'di ba? Before, binili ko po ito ng 50 pesos in one sachet. Bakit ngayon? Umabot na ng 100 pesos. Ano to, ha? I-explain mo nga sa akin.
Mom, can I explain? Mom, can I explain again? I'm sorry, but it is reality. Because of inflation. Because of the inflation. Because of the inflation.
Ayusin mong pananalita mo, ha? What is inflation? What is inflation? And give me the example. And please give me the definition of inflation.
Mom, excuse me. I called my store manager to explain you about inflation.
Okay, fine. I'm waiting your store manager. And now, I want to know what is the inflation at bakit nasangkot ako sa inflation na ito. But, kung bago ka lang sa video na ito, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at mag-like ka na pag nagustuhan mo. I-share mo na rin ang video na ito sa iba pa. Marami pong natuto what is inflation. At huwag kalimutang i-click ang notification bell para lagi kang updated sa mga bago kong video ina-upload about financial. Good morning, Mrs. Janie. You are the store manager here. Please explain me about inflation. Because before, I buy 50 pesos in one sachet, while now, 100 pesos in one cup. What is the inflation? And please give me the example at the definition of this. Please sit down, Mrs. No. Today, I want to explain you about inflation. What is inflation and example na ito? What is inflation, good or bad for us? What is inflation explanation? What are the three types of inflation? How is inflation caused? Why is no inflation is not bad for us? Do we need inflation? Why is inflation 2%? Who is hurt by inflation? All of this malalaman mo pag makinig ka lang at tapusin mo ang video na ito. Okay, fine. I gave you 30 minutes to explain this at kung bakit nasasangkot ako sa ganitong problema. It's your problem, it's not me. I am a consumer and it's not my problem. It's not about your product to increase the prices. I want to know what is the inflation at bakit ako nasasangkot dito, lalo na mga consumers niyo. What is inflation? An example. Inflation is an economic term that refers to an environment of general rising prices of goods and services within a particular economy. As general prices rise, the purchasing power of consumers decreases. For example, prices for many consumer goods are double that of 20 years ago. What is inflation an example? Is inflation good or bad for us? When inflation is too high, of course, is not good for the economy or individuals. Inflation will always reduce the value of money. unless interest rates are higher than inflation. And the higher inflation gets, the less chance there is that savers will see any real return on their money. What is inflation? Inflation, this is the financial express. The explanation of inflation refers to the rise in the prices of most goods and services of daily or common use, such as food, clothing, housing, recreation, transport, consumers, staples, etc. Inflation measures that average price change in a basket of commodities and services over time. Classified into three types: demand full inflation, number 2, cost push inflation, and number 3, built-in inflation. Inflation means that the general level of prices is going up. The opposite of deflation, inflation, changes the ratio of money towards goods or services. More money is needed to get the same amount of good or services, or the same amount of money will get a lower amount of good or services. Now, what is inflation? An example. Inflation is an economic term that refers to an environment of generally rising prices of goods and services within a particular economy. As general prices rise, the purchasing power of consumers decreases. For example, prices for many consumers' goods are double that of 20 years ago. Now, what is inflation? Rate in simple word. March 26, 2020, the simple example explain how many loses its value over time when prices rise. This phenomenon is called inflation. Now, what is inflation and its causes? Inflation is a measure of the rate of rising prices of goods and services in the economy. Inflation can occur when prices rise due to the increases in production costs, such as raw material and wages. A surge in demand for products and services can cause inflation as consumers are willing to pay more for the product. What is the inflation for 2020? What is the rate? Projected annual inflation rate in the United States from 2010 to 2021. In 2020, 0.62%. 2019, 1.81%. 2018, 2.44%. 2017, 2.14%. Ang pinakamaganda dito, kung may ini-invest ka sa isang facilities and 4% annually, hindi ka po lugi dito. Tingnan natin sa 2019, ang inflation rate po is 1.81%. Habang yung investment mo every year ay tumataas po ng 4% above. So, 4% minus 1.81%, yung natitira, that is your net or your income, no? Yung kita mo. So, hindi ka po dito lugi. Ang lugi dito, kung pera mo is nilalagak mo lang sa bangko, and then the bank give you a 1% annually, and then yung inflation rate po every year, or that this year, like for example 2019, the rate of inflation is 1.81%. Then you put your money in the bank, and the bank give you in 1% annually. Tapos yung in 2019 po, ang inflation rate nito is 1.81%. So, lugi ka po dito. Okay? For example, if you buy rice per kilo, today, mabibili mo lang siya ng 100 or 60 pesos per kilo. What if in 2030 or 2040, ang kilo po ng bigas is nasa 150 per kilo. So, yung 1,000 po na nilalagak mo doon sa bank, ilan na lang kilo ang mabibili doon. So, inflation po, every year or habang tumatagal, lumalaki or nagmamahalan po ang mga bilihin. That's the main of simple explanation of inflation. Habang tumatagal, mas lalong lumalaki po or nagmamahalan yung pamimilihin. Ano nga ba ang inflation? Paano nito naapektuhan ang ordinaryong mamimili? Ano-ano ang maaaring gawin ng gobyerno tungkol dito? Alamin ang inflation, ang pagpataas ng bilihin. Isa sa mga pangunahing naiintindi ng karaniwang Pilipino sa araw-araw ay ang presyo ng bilihin. Ang tawag sa pagtaas ng presyo ay inflation. Layon ng infographic na itong ipaliwanag sa mamamayan ang ibig sabihin ng inflation at ang kontekstong kaloob nito. So ang tanong, ano nga ba ang inflation? Ang inflation ay ang pagtaas ng presyo ng ilang pagkaraniwang serbisyo, produktong binibili ng mga consumer. Mas madali itong maintindihan kung pamilyar tayo sa konsepto ng CPI. Ano naman ang CPI? Sa madaling salita, ang inflation ay ang pagtaas ng Consumer Price Index o CPI. Ipinapakita nito kung gaano kalaki ang itinataas ng CPI sa nakalipas na taon o buwan. So mas madali itong isipin bilang isang basket ng lahat ng pangkaraniwang produktong serbisyong binibili ng mga mamamayan. Kung ang taong inflation rate ay mas mataas sa isang particular na panahon, ibig sabihin ang karaniwang halaga ng isang basket ng mga produkto ay mas mataas kumpara sa halaga nito sa parehong panahon. Noong nakaraang taon, ganito rin ang analohiya para sa buwan ng inflation. Ayon sa NADA or NIDA, ang kasalukuyang average inflation rate ng 2012 ay nasa 3.2%. Normal rate lang ito. At pinakamababa sa full year rate ng nakaraang 4 na taon, 8.3%. Noong 2008, 4.1%. Noong 2009, at 3.9% noong 2010. Mas mababa rin ito kung inahambing sa ibang bansa. Kung nakikita nyo ang graphic na ito at ating pong ipaliwanag kung anong ibig sabihin dito, makikita mo sa 2008, lumalaki po ang inflation rate. Nasa 8.3%. In 2009, nasa 4.1%. 2012, nasa 3.8% ang inflation rate. 2011, 4.6 average rate. 2012, nasa 3.2 average rate. 2013, makikita nyo dito ang 3.0 average rate. So, hindi po maintain po ang inflation. So, independ po sa every year na lumalago or nasa bumababa po ang inflation rate. Sa 2014, makikita mo na tumaas na naman siya ulit ng 4.1%. And then in 2015 po, makikita natin dito ang 0.4% in this month on September. So, kung you put your money in the bank and the money is interest rate is 1% or 1%, at kung this time nilalagak mo sa 2008, so lugi ka po dito. Why? Because 8.3% and 2008 ang inflation rate dito. Samantala yung pira mo is lumalago lang po ng 1% inflation. So, luging-lugi ka po dito. Okay? So, ngayon ang tanong, may nagagawa ba ang pamahalaan para kontrolin ang inflation? So, oo. Pero hindi sa lahat ng produkto. Market forces ang kadalasang nagdidikta sa pagtaas o pagbaba ng presyo ng mga bilhin. Subalit, bilang proteksyon sa mga consumers, itinitiyak ng pamahalaan na reasonable at hindi mapag-abuso ang pagtaas ng presyo, lalo ng mga pangunahing produkto. Halimbawa, pwedeng sitahin ng pamahalaan ang nagtitinda ng masyadong mahal. Tuwing may kalamidad, maaaring magpataw ng price praise o price selling sa mga bilhin ng mga apektadong lugar, ang DTI. Na-impluwensyahan din ng pamahalaan sa pamamagitan ng mga pulisya ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas na naniguradong hindi labis ang dami ng salapi sa merkado na nagbubunsod ng agarang pagtaas ng mga presyo ng bilihin dahil sa malawak na demand. Mulat din ang pamamahalaan na kapag mas mataas ang buwis, mataas din ang presyo ng bilihin. Kaya naman, pinag-aralan ng pamahalaan ang anumang panungkulang may kinalaman sa buwis.